Oh, you young people, you just continue to know more and more. But on my many travels, through caves and forests and whatnot, I've learned the best skill that you can have is math. So listen to this young guy. He'll tell you some stuff. Why, thank you, wise lost traveler. Okay, we're simplifying radicals. I'll do the odds. Okay? So, simplifying 24, remember the key to these is finding the prime factorization. If you're good, you'll look at 24 and say, oh, that's 4 times 6, right? And since I know 4 is a perfect square, you can change this square root of 24 into the square root of 4 times the square root of 6 and get the actual answer. 2 times the square root of 6, right? But sometimes it'll take you a little bit further. If you see 24 and you know that's 2 times 12, and 12 is 2 times 6, and 6 is 2 times 3, you can change this square root of 24 into 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3, right? And then for every, since it's a second root, every 2 things that are the same, 1 comes out. Since there's only 1 2 and only 1 3, you have to leave the 2 times 3 inside the square root. Okay, hopefully that helps. Ooh, it doesn't look like I've got lots of room. Okay, so if I take 162 and separate it. Now I can't see what it goes into, but I do know that 2 times 81 is 162. And 81 is 9 times 9. And each one of these 9s is 2 3s. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this third root and put in a -1 because it's negative, a 2, and 1 2 3 4 3s. 3 3 3 3. Now you cannot have even roots of negative numbers, but you can have odd roots of negative numbers. And this -1, since it's an odd root, that's the same thing as -1 to the 3rd power. So you can take the 3rd root of -1 and get -1. That just makes a negative sign come out. And now for the rest of these, there's 1 2 3 4 3s, but remember, since it's the 3rd root, you need 3 of the same thing to take 1 out. So these 3s allow you to take that 1 3 out. But inside the 3rd root, you're left with 2 times 3, which is 6. So this one's -3 times the 3rd root of 6. Okay. Now the 4th root of 128. I'm going to give myself a little room here to work. 128 is 2 times 64. And 64, we've done this before, it's 4 times 16, and 16 is 4 times 4. Okay, so underneath the square root, it looks like there's 1, 2 here, 2 more here, 2 more there, and 2 more there. So 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 8 ends, but I'm going to give you the secret with the variables. You can divide these n's into groups of 4. Oops, it's not a n to the 4th, it's a 4. Okay. Since it's the 4th root, for every 4, 1 comes out. So with those 4 2's, 1 2 comes out. With these 4 n's, 1 n comes out. With those 4 n's, another n comes out. And inside the 4th root is 2 to the 3rd power, which is the number 8. So the answer to this is 2n squared times the 4th root of 8. Now this next one, 224. Again, I don't know too much about it, but I do know that 2 goes into it 2 times, 112 times. And 112 is 2 times 56. And 56, because 5, 6, 7, 8 is 7 times 8. And 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So the prime factorization. This is the 5th root. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2's. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 1, 7. And then r to the 7th. Now the trick is separating r to the 7th into r to the 5th times r squared. Okay, because r to the 5th times r squared is r to the 7th. Now for every 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can take 1 out. So there's a 2 on the outside. 7's left in. These 5 r's, 1 r comes out. R squared stays in. So it's 2r times the 5th root of 7r squared. Hopefully that makes sense. This next one, 392. I'm going to have to grab my calculator. I can see it's even, so I'm going to divide it by 2. 392 divided by 2 is another even number. Is another even number. And 49 is 7 times 7. So it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 7 times 7. It's 2 times 196. 196 is 2 times 98. 98 is 2 times 49. Okay? So let's separate this into 2 times 2 times 2 times 7 times 7. Okay? And x squared. And this is the square root, so it's just the second root. For every 2, 1 comes out, 1, 2 comes out, 1, 7 comes out, and 1 x comes out. So it's 2 times 7 times x times the square root of 2, which is 14x square root of 2. Okay? 405, I can see it's divisible by 5. Oh, and then it's 81, which is 9 times 9. Okay? So 405 is 5 times 81. 9 is 9 times 9, which is 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, we're good. This is the 4th root. So 405 is 5 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. I got the first 2 3's from that 9 and the second 2 3's from that 9. x to the third y squared. Since there aren't 4 x's or 4 y's, you can't do anything with those. But there are 4 3's. The only thing that comes out is 1 3, and everything else stays in the radical. Okay? $128. Now 128 is 64. We've done a few of these 64s, haven't we? Like here's a 64, it's 4 times 16, so it's 2, 2, 2, 2, it's 6 2's. 64 is 6 2's. 128, oh, we did it. It was 7 2's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 128 is 7 2's. Okay, so I think I can do this straight up. It's the 4th root of 7 2's. So I'm going to say 2 to the 4th times 2 to the 3rd. That's 7 2's. X to the 7th. X to the 4th times x to the 3rd. And y to the 7th. Y to the 4th times y to the 3rd. And the reason why I broke up these like this is because you need 4 to take one out. So if you break it up into the first 4, then everything else has to stay in. So this 2 to the 4th, 1, 2 comes out. That x to the 4th, 1x comes out. This y to the 4th, 1y comes out. Now everything that's left in this 4th root is 2 to the 3rd, which is the number 8, x to the 3rd, y to the 3rd. Okay? 448. This is pure ugliness. This x is, okay, we can do something to start with. I don't know what this 448 is going to turn into, but this x to the 7th is x to the 6th times x, is y to the 7th, is y to the 6th times y. Now, 448 is 2 times 224. Let's make sure that's true. 224 divided by 2 is 112. Divided by 2 is 56. 56 is 7 times 8, and 8 is 2 times 4, and 4 is 2 times 2. So it looks like 448 has 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2's, and a 7. Let's make sure I'm right. 2 to the 6th times 7. 448. Okay? 2 to the 6th times 7. Oh, this is the 6th root. Okay, so this shouldn't be too bad. 1, 2 comes out, 1 x comes out, 1 y comes out. And what stays in the 6th root is 7xy. Okay? So we're supposed to decide what big square root or 3rd root simplifies to this. Well, I know that there's a 5, an m, and an n squared to start with. And this 2 means there has to be 3 2's on the inside for 1 to come out. This m means there has to be 3 m's on the inside for 1 to come out. What's funny about this is there's an n squared out there, but I know there has to be 3 n squareds for 1 to come out. So this is 8 times 5, which is 40. M to the 3rd times m, which is m to the 4th. N to the 6th times n squared, which is n to the 8th. And that is what simplifies to get that answer.